The Democratic establishment in California should be panicking right now because a star from Hollywood who's supposed to be a card-carrying progressive is going scorched earth on them, literally, and against progressive rule in the state, using the most emotional, powerful case we may have ever seen there. His campaign for Los Angeles mayor is going nuclear.
This is where Mayor Bass lives. You notice something? Or here, where Nithya Raman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live. This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor. For my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are gonna get the golden age of Los Angeles back.
He's running to end Los Angeles' long streak of left-wing mayors who have run that city into the ground. Homeless encampments all over the streets. Billions of taxpayer dollars have been flushed down the toilet on progressive solutions that make everything worse. Crime is exploding. Businesses are fleeing. But the progressive elites are flying private and telling you it's all fine. Mayor Karen Bass has still not resigned after presiding over devastating wildfires in Southern California, running off to a foreign country while her citizens' homes were being engulfed in flames. That was Spencer Pratt's wake-up call when his home got destroyed. That was the mask-off moment for Democrats in California when they let people's livelihoods get incinerated in a few short days for climate change alarmism. This is Spencer Pratt's wife talking about the trauma that her family endured during that disaster.
They say it takes a year for grief, right? To really like settle in your brain and your body and everything. And that's so true. That's definitely what I experienced. I know I get so sad about it, but you work so hard, right, for everything in your home, and you love everything in your home, and it's so curated, and your childhood things, your children's things, and their little clay pots they bring home. You know, all of our friends live there. Our community, Spencer grew up in the Palisades. He had been there his whole life.
Pratt was a reality TV star, and he probably never thought he'd wade into politics like this, but he has a fire in him now. His family was directly affected. Now he wants to be the spokesman for the whole community who feels the same way. He is taking no prisoners when he gets into office. He's vowing to unearth how bad the corruption of California Democratic leadership really is.
I have a good relationship with the IRS criminal investigation team. First week, I'm bringing them in. Here's all the books. Open this up. Let's see all the corruption.
What should be especially threatening to Mayor Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, the whole posse of derelict Democrats across California is that Pratt is messaging with a very empathetic perspective that is personal, and it cuts through all the hyper-partisanship to the truth of the matter.
You know, as I've been campaigning, the thing that has impacted me the most is meeting hundreds and hundreds of moms. And they're the most activated people in Los Angeles right now. And you know why? Because they don't feel safe. Moms send me messages with stories and videos that are so disturbing. If I were to share them on my accounts, they'd get banned. Crazy drug addicts exposing themselves to their children, hardcore drug use, assaults. It's shocking what LA moms have to endure because of the reckless policies of Karen Bass and Nithya Raman.
Now, he used to be very unpopular as a TV star because he was depicted as a jerk on screen.
Did you pre-order The Guy You Love to Hate?
No, I'll buy it next week when it comes out.
Sweet. My answer is get out of my car.
Stupid car.
But they were just that, performances. In January, Pratt tweeted, "What most people don't know is that like 90% of what aired on the Hills, it was entirely fake. But this one haunted me because I would never speak to my beloved queen, Heidi Montag, like that ever. That scene marked a real turning point. The public hated me more than ever. So much so that at a party, Lisa Kudrow urged Heidi to leave me, saying I had serial killer eyes. Fake reality has real consequences." You just saw a clip from Heidi. They look like they have a strong marriage and a loving family. The producer of the show Pratt was on, The Hills, says he has real momentum in deep blue Los Angeles right now and might just win this thing.
One of your cast members on The Hills, Spencer Pratt, is doing surprisingly well in the LA mayoral election polls.
I am not surprised in any way.
Really?
No. Once the fires happened, he has wonderful parents who lost their home. I saw him online like everyone else did, and he was like visibly very upset and very much gathering information to sort of make sense of it all. So I'm not surprised he got this far.
It's unfortunate that it takes a member of the Hollywood elite getting his fancy house in LA burned down to finally see the suicide in progressive policies. He and his family lost everything in the Palisades fire because the Democratic-run system failed. There was no real prevention because it wasn't environmentally friendly. Remember the Delta smelt?
I don't think we should give California anything until they let water flow down into there.
From the north to the south.
This is a political thing. I don't know what it is. You know, they talk about the Delta smelt. It's a little tiny fish like this.
I went out.
They say it's an endangered species. Well, how is it endangered? No wonder it's endangered. It's not getting any water. How do you, if you have a fish and you're stopping the water, isn't that going to hurt the fish?
The wildfires, as a result, raged in California, and no one was held accountable for it. The state has added insult to injury by making it nearly impossible to rebuild. There are complex state and local permitting regulations. There's been bureaucratic delays. Only about 2,500 of over 13,000 destroyed homes in the LA area received permits to rebuild a year after the 2025 fires. That's insane.
Do you want the house tour? I could take you to the first, second, third floor. And I promise none of this is a metaphor. I just want you to come inside.
Obviously, once you realize that Democrats' environmental stuff is nuts, you start to see how everything else they put into law is designed to make life hell for hardworking Americans who just want a safe, affordable, clean city and the knowledge that the government isn't going to sacrifice everything they've earned for a small fish and lowering the global temperature by a fraction of a degree. And equity.
And when it comes to ICE, the problem isn't enforcement, it's defiance. Karen Bass's open defiance of federal law for political gain has created confusion, tension, and instability.
And by the way, Spencer Pratt loves the environment and God's creatures, but he doesn't have a twisted view of it. He's more like, let's care for the environment as humans, be conservationists. This is one of the last videos Spencer Pratt posted from his home in the Palisades before it burned down. If that was my life, peace, tranquility, and then it was engulfed in flames because of progressive policies, I'd be on a warpath too. I'd want to burn every government department that enabled this and expedite the rebuilding process. I'm very happy that this guy, who already has a lot of clout and cachet among, frankly, the most influential in the LA area, has had an epiphany, has had an aha moment. But as we know, a lot of Californians were never insulated from the worst of Democratic policies. They've lived the nightmare every day. Let's hope that Spencer Pratt gets elected in Los Angeles and dramatically improves all of the citizens' lives.